Have you ever thought about what's the goal of central bank digital currency and why are the so-called elite in their own minds so anxious to implement it? And why do they want to put you in confined 15-minute cities? This is their research, this is their data, this is what the World Economic Forum talks about. Larry Fink, the biggest asset manager in the world, is a CEO of the WF now. Have you ever asked why they're doing the things they're doing? There's an old saying, what's ours is ours, and what's yours is ours. And we're going to talk about how successful are they being because we are on the road to owning nothing. That old saying from the World Economic Forum, you'll own nothing and love it. Well, I don't know if the last part's true. The first part's becoming true. How bad is it getting? Well, we have the data right here on the Common Sense Show. We are brought to you by something that, if this makes you sick, hopefully this makes you feel better. We have two products here. This is part of the three pack, the starter pack. This brought me back from strep lung linings, RSV. Doesn't cure anything, but what it did was raise my immune system to unbelievable levels. This, when I started to get back in the gym and I was recovering, helped me with my bone on bone. It produces pluripotent stem cells. Just rub it on. How long did it take? People ask. About 2 months. And then there's the skin cream. I used it on my cut. You saw the bandage and needed stitches, probably 4 to 6 of them. Didn't get them. Healed just fine. Thank you very much. 15% off for the starter pack. Go to iwantmyhealthpack.com/Dave Hodges. iwantmyhealthpack.com/Dave Hodges. Well, I'm going to hit you with some stats. And I'm going to let you know just how bad it's getting. You think you're a failure because you're having trouble making ends meet, or you're not meeting them at all. You're one paycheck away from the street, and you think, oh, woe is me. What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. It's the corrupt system that you're trapped in. You know, in every lie, there's an element of truth. And when AOC gallivants around the country saying, we're going to fight against the oligarchs as she flies in on her private jet, and she's made tons of money on insider trading, which is legal for them, but not for us. She says, the oligarchs are destroying us. That's a true statement. She's right. But her solution is socialism, which has never worked anywhere. And what socialism does, it actually consolidates power in the hands of a few, and the masses that had nothing that helped the socialism come in get even less for their efforts. The pattern is always the same. Let's go through some data. 30% of all Americans are now categorized as low income. 3 out of 10. This is America. Remember the immigrants of yesteryear said, the streets are paved with gold. There's great opportunity. 30% low income. This is more than the Great Depression. What's incredible is most of these 30% are living 200% or more below the poverty level. Let that sink in for a second. There's very little hope to break out. That's 100 million Americans. That's 100 million Americans. And we wonder why the crime rate is what it is. 70% of us live paycheck to paycheck. One thing happens, 60% of America can't afford a $500 emergency, like an unexpected car repair bill. And so we say this stat too. In the 1980s, late 80s, 28 was the average age for first time homeowner. Today it's 39. And 30% of all homes being built today, financed by Blackstone and BlackRock, they're rentals because they're catering to the people who will probably never be able to buy a home. We're just getting started here. Let's look at the other side of the equation. CEOs. In 1980, a CEO made $42 for every dollar that a worker in that corporation made. Today, it's $352. It's over a 700% income, 352 to 1. That old saying, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. 1% of America controls 33% of the wealth. 1% of America controls 33% of the wealth. One out of $3 circulation controlled by the 1%. Now let's look at what's happened on the other end. The bottom 50%, 10 years ago, 2015, they controlled 3.5% of the wealth. You go, oh, that's terrible. Well, listen to this. Today, it's 2.3%, a reduction by more than a third. So while CEOs increased the income ratio by 700%, everybody else decreased by a third. So no wonder the kids sometimes have to quit school to go to work. No wonder we can't live on a one income family. Have you ever seen the old Leave It to Beaver reruns? The moms weren't working. Not that they were sexist, they didn't have to. Today, they have to. And then there's industries that take advantage of them, childcare. Um, how bad will it get? That's a really good question. How bad is it going to get? You've got AI entering the picture, and you think things are bad now? What's going to happen when jobs disappear by the millions? Right now, with our deportations that it's going on, and listen, I don't want TDA here. I don't want the Sinaloas here. I don't want MS-13 here. But what's interesting is we can't farm all the crops we need and send them to market. People are concerned about a food shortage. We can't fill a lot of positions. They said, well, Americans will take those jobs. Well, the data is saying they're not. And am I saying that all undocumented people, even the criminals, should stay? No. But this wasn't thought out very well now, was it? And this is just going to increase the misery because now you're going to have a shortage of supplies and supply and demand. What happens when you have a shortage of supplies? Price goes up. That's inflationary. And you can't trust the government to tell you the truth about inflation because in core inflation figures, they don't count the price of food or gas, like you don't have to eat or drive to work. We are approaching third world status. I want to go back to the beginning statistic to sum this up. 100 million Americans, or 33%, are low income, according to federal poverty. And most of those live 200% or more below federal poverty levels. Kids in these families are skipping an average of one meal per day. I would call that third world, wouldn't you? And now we're sitting on the precipice of cutting off food stamps. Now, this judge, oh, hey, this judge, she restored. You can't pay it in turnips or blood. If the money ain't there, you can make all the court rulings you want. And why isn't the money there? Well, it is actually there, but it can't be spent. And why can't it be spent? Because the Democrats are trying to collapse the government so they can take advantage of the chaos because they know they can't win an election now. Their polling is at all-time low. So they're making this problem worse. Meanwhile, as we look at the Democrats, what MAGA's doing, the failure to talk to each other, the bottom line is we are sinking faster than a submarine with screen doors. I'm Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show.